Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to my CCNP Switch Lab 3. It is routing lab. Mainly we are going to focus on SVI and routed port, and we are going to run OSPF. And this is the diagram we are going to do today. Just follow the diagram. There's a switch. It is connected to a router 1 and router 2. There's a switch 1. And router 1 Ethernet 00 is connected to switch Ethernet 01. And switch Ethernet 02 is connected to again Ethernet 00 on the router. So that means on the router they are both Ethernet 00. So as per the diagram, I'm going to build a topology. The very important thing to understand is router configuration is normal for OSPF. I'm not going to bother much about routing on the router. So router has a loopback 0 as well as a port. The router 2 also has a loopback 0 and a port. The very important thing to understand here is between switch and router 1, and I'm not telling about any VLAN. So that means the port Ethernet 00 on the switch, Ethernet 01 on the switch is a routed port. That means we are going to put IP on the port because there is no VLAN definition. IP has to be put on the port. It's called routed port. On the other hand, on the right side, I'm saying the link is VLAN 27. So that means what I had to do on the switch side, I had to put the port to VLAN 27. So I'm going to put access VLAN 27. Then I'm going to create a layer 3 logical interface called interface VLAN 27 and put the IP as .7. So 27.27.27.7. So that means the switch will have on the left side routed port, that IP given to a physical interface. On the right side is going to have IP given to a logical VLAN interface. So that means from the switch, if I can ping router 1 and router 2, that means the switch is participating in layer 3 connectivity. Then by default in the switches, routing is disabled. So I'm going to enable the routing by using IP routing command. Then going to run OSPF. Guys, again, it's a very small lab, but just try to understand when I do the switching concept. So if I go through the, so what we have to do, if you are going to, if you have your own, if you're not my student, you can try to build the topology something like this. If you are my class students, you can go to the pods. When I say pod is a labs, and go to switch 1 and going to do no shut on the router 1 Ethernet ports, router 2 Ethernet port, and you can type show CDP neighbor and see which ports you can take it, which routers you can take it, and build the topology. So I'm going to show you everything from scratch today. Guys, again, if you like my previous videos, please subscribe and tell your friends to subscribe. You can find me in YouTube or Google by typing MANI advantage. Okay, so let's see what we are going to do today. Define R1 and R2 with an IP address and OSPF area 0. Advertise loopbacks and IPs. Very simple. Configure switch 1 as a VTP mode transparent. VTP domain name is MANI advantage. Enable routing on switch 1. Configure layer 3 interface towards R1 and R2. I'm not telling what port. So by looking at, if I'm not telling a VLAN is a routed port, if I am saying a VLAN is going to be a SVI port. By the way, guys, SVI stands for switched virtual interface. Then I'm going to enable OSPF and I'm going to make sure you can ping. So guys, it doesn't matter whether you are doing a CCNP switching or CCIE switching, mainly layer 3 stuff. These are very, very important. You have to understand the difference between a routed port and SVI port. So in this document, I'm giving all the commands. So if you don't have access to this document, you can either email me or you can take a print screen. So this is router 2 configs. This is switch 1. The very important thing for the entire switching is this one, whatever you see here, which I'm going to do. So link bit towards R1, I'm configuring a routed port. I'm putting IP onto the physical port. Link towards R2, I'm creating a SVI port. So that means there are 3 steps. I had to create a layer 2 VLAN. So this is the way you create a layer 2 VLAN. Then you have to go and put the port to a layer 2 VLAN. Then you are creating a layer 3 interface. So guys, I'm not going to look at this document when I do the configuration, but you can take a snapshot. Then enabling OSPF on the switch. Finally, some verification command and some ping command. So basically after we are going to ping from R1 to R2 sourcing loopback 0, R2 to R1 sourcing loopback 0. What we have to understand is in the middle we have a switch 1. So all the ping packets are going through the switches. Okay guys, so let's go back to the diagram and let's do the labs. So I'm going to show you some tricks. So these are, you can call it as a CCIE tricks also. So I have access to switch 1, router 1 and router 2. What I'm going to do on the router, I'm going to just clean up any bad configuration. So what I will do, I'll type show IP interface brief, exclude unassigned to see if I see any. Yeah, I'm seeing some interfaces. I don't want those ones. So what I will do, I will say default interface Ethernet 00. I'm doing a prep work for you guys to understand the defaulting. Then I will type no interface loopback 0. And also I want to see if any routing is going on. Show IP protocols. If I type show IP protocols, yeah, it tells me I'm running RIP. I'm going to remove the RIP. No router RIP is gone now. Then what I will do, I will go to this particular router 2 also. I will do the same thing. I will type show IP interface brief, exclude unassigned to make sure if I have anything. Yeah, I have a couple of things same way. So I will do default interface Ethernet 00. This is the way you make interface to a default status. That means everything is wiped out. Then no interface loopback 0. You are removing the loopback interface. So if I type show IP interface brief, exclude unassigned, there is nothing. If I just type show IP interface brief, I have 2 Ethernet. So next time what I will do, I will go to interface range Ethernet 00, then type interface range Ethernet 0/0 to 1. Then I will type no shut. There is a reason, because I want to see these interfaces in the CDP neighbor. I will take the same thing to my router 1 and always type no shut. Then if I come to my switches, so in the type switches, if I type show CDP neighbor, you give some time, and if you type show CDP neighbor, it tells me, and there is a router 3. I'm not going to take router 3. So router 1, so look at this one. Router 1 Ethernet 00 is connected to fast Ethernet 01 on the switch, and router 2 Ethernet 00 is connected to fast Ethernet 02. So I'm going to use this fast Ethernet 01 and 02. I'm not going to take router 3 into this particular diagram. So this is the diagram I'm going to use, guys. So as we know, so I'm going to start configuring router 1 and router 2. Then finally we are going to configure switch. So I want to show you how to clean up the switch configuration also. So very first time, if you want to do a class lab, you can type VTP mode transparent, start with VTP mode transparent, and type no VLAN 2 to 4094. So that means you are basically removing all sort of configuration. And also, to be on the safe side, show IP interface brief, exclude unassigned. Yeah, it also has couple of VLANs. I won't remove those ones because I want to start from scratch. No interface VLAN 10, that way it's removed. Then no interface loopback 0, and also no interface loopback 1. So if I type show IP interface brief, exclude unassigned, guys, these are not CCNP related command. These are CCIE show fast track show command. So if you want, you can just remember these commands. It will help you in the career when you do the higher studies. Okay guys, so I'm on a fresh mind right now. So let's go to router 1. As I said, if I type show IP protocols, I should not see anything. Let's check again one more time. Here also show IP protocols. Maybe I'm running RIP. No, I'm running EIGRP, so I'll better remove that one. No router EIGRP 65111. So you want to start from fresh. So either I could have done 2 things. I could have done erase startup config reload, but I rather do like this. So again, show IP protocols. There is no dynamic routing protocols. If I type show run pipe include IP route, there is no static routing. So I'm good now. So R1 also same thing. Show IP protocols, nothing. Show run pipe include IP route, nothing. And also show IP interface brief, also there is nothing. Okay guys, so now we are ready to start. So config. So let's go back to the diagram. We had to always look at the diagram when we do the configuration. router 1 Ethernet 00 is 17.17.17.1. So let's configure that one. So I can even kind of minimize this one to bring this way. So config T interface Ethernet 00 IP address 17.17.17.1 255.255.255.0. No shut. You have to always do no shut for physical interface. And also now I'll create a loopback 0 interface loopback 0 as per the diagram. IP address 1.1.1.1, then 255.255.255.255. Let's enable OSPF because the ultimate idea is enabling OSPF. Router OSPF1 route ID. This is not necessary, but I always, if there's a loopback 0, I try to hard code the route ID. Then network 1.1.1.1 0.0.0.0 area 0. Then network 17.17.17.0 0.0.0.255 area 0. Guys, this should be, if you haven't done your routing, these are CCNA commands. So if I type show run section OSPF, is going to show you show run begin router OSPF, the section OSPF for new iOS code. Just see, you see router OSPF1 route ID, the commands I type, and also you are seeing my banner. So if you want to reach me at any time, you can email me the MANI-CCNA-CCNP-CCIE@yahoo.ca, and you see my personal number. Guys, let's do the router 2 right now the same way. So I'll go to router 2 and it's VLAN 27. Okay, so we shouldn't forget the VLAN 27. So I'm going to keep like this to see both the subnet also. Config T interface Ethernet 0/0. Here interface IP address 27.27.27.2 255.255.255.0. I'll type no shut. Then I'll go to interface loopback 0. Then I'll type IP address 2.2.2.2. Then 255.255.255.255. Let's enable OSPF. Router OSPF1 route ID. Even if I don't type route ID, it picks the loopback 0 automatically. Then network 2.2.2.2 0.0.0.0 area 0. The way OSPF work, we advertise network ID, wildcard mask, keyword area, then area ID. Then for the next one, I should do 27.27.27.0 0.0.0.255 area 0. OSPF will not work until we configure our switches. So that's our main task. To configure switches, I'm going to just keep like this is my switch 1, so it'll be easy to see, guys. Okay, I hope you are enjoying the lab until now. So if I type show IP interface brief exclude and assign, what this command do, it shows you all the IP assigned IP. So right now I have 27.27.27.2 and 2.2.2.2. And also if I type show run begin router OSPF, it's going to show me from router OSPF. So basically it's going to show me all the command from router OSPF. Just see, I have a router OSPF1 and all the commands I typed. So let's move it up this one. Let's move it up, guys. So let's configure the switches. So let's go through the document quickly. Okay, so I configured the routers. For the switches, I'm giving a name and VTP domain name MANI advantage, VTP password MANI ADV. Let's do that one quickly. So on the switch, config T VTP domain MANI advantage, VTP password MANI ADV, VTP mode transparent. I think it's already using, all the devices are already using. So if you want to see, you can type show VTP status. So in the show BTP status, you are seeing everything, and important thing to remember, when you configure BTP transparent mode, configuration revision number is always 0. Now guys, I'm going to enable routing. So I don't have to do right now, but let's enable routing, IP routing. As I said, towards the left side, it is going to be a routed port. So that means FA01. So let's again type do show CDP neighbor. I'll go to switch 1. So let's say if I do no shut here, show IP interface brief, Ethernet 00 up is layer 3. So since I created layer 3, that's the trouble causing right now. We know from the original position. So let's go and configure, guys. Interface Ethernet 01. Let's go back to the diagram to quickly verify. Let's look at the diagram and configure this one. Okay. So Ethernet 01 going to router 1. Interface Ethernet 01. On the switch, interface fast Ethernet 01. Then I'll type the command no switch port. That's the way I make the port as a layer 3. Then I'll type IP address 17.17.17.7 255.255.255.0, no shut. So what I did right now, guys, I configured this particular port as a routed port. So I'll show you again. Show run interface fast Ethernet 01. Yeah, so by typing no switch port, the port became a layer 3 port. Then I'm typing the IP address. Let's go to router 2. Router 2, I have to do a couple of things. To configure router 2 on a switch, the very first thing is a VLAN. So I'll create the VLAN 27. So let's create VLAN 27. What I'm doing, I'm creating a layer 2 VLAN. Then let's go to the port. So that's step number 1, interface FA02. You can type switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 27. Then you can type no shut again. So right now, if I type show VLAN, you will see VLAN 27 is assigned to FA02. So step number 2 is done. As a step number 3, I'll create the logical VLAN interface. So interface VLAN 27. I'm going to put the IP to this one. So this is a layer 3 VLAN. It's called SVI port. So IP address 27.27.27.7 255.255.255.0. Then I'll finally type no shut. Not only this, I will create a loopback 0 as seen in the diagram. Interface loopback 0, IP address 7.7.7.7 255.255.255.255. So let's see, the commands are right here. Show, I think show run is the best way to check everything, just to get familiarized with the commands. So I'm just taking from the previous lab, so it's okay. So VLAN 27, I have loopback 0. Don't worry about the previous commands. We are going to look at the whatever commands is necessary. So it fast Ethernet 01. The IP is given. Okay, that's it, guys. So basically, let's see whether interface is up. Show IP interface brief. Exclude unassigned. Okay, can I ping? So this is the very important thing. 27.27.27.2. This is router 2. Ping 27.27.27.2. That's good. Then ping 17.17.17.1. That's router 1. Okay guys, so that means I have the reachability. So that means from switch 1 I can ping 17.17.1 and 27.27.27.2. I want to show you one thing. Towards router 1 is a SVI port, towards router 2 is a, towards router 1 it is a routed port, towards router 2 it is SVI port because it's a VLAN port. So just for the verification, that one, if I type show IP interface brief, exclude unassigned, you are seeing here the IP is given to a VLAN port. So whenever you give IP to a VLAN port, it's called SVI port or switch virtual interface. Here IP is given to a physical port. In this case, the port became a routed port. So now we are able to run routing. Let's do routing, guys. One more time, IP routing, very important. Should not forget this command. Then router OSPF1, router ID 7.7.7.7, network 7.7.7.7, 0.0.0.0, area 0, the network 17.17.17.0, 0.0.0.255, area 0. I'll do the up arrow, then I will change to, I'll do the up arrow and change to 27. I already got one neighbor, guys, you can see that one. So the idea is switch should see 2 OSPF neighbors. So let's wait until the OSPF neighbor to come up. So as per the diagram, switch should have 2 OSPF neighbors. Okay, it's got the OSPF neighbor. If I type show IP OSPF neighbor, I have 2 OSPF neighbor. And also if I type show IP route OSPF, by looking at the diagram, I should say that I should get 2 OSPF route, 1 as a OSPF route and 2 as a OSPF route, and 17 and 27 is a connected route. So if I type show IP route OSPF, I'm seeing 2 OSPF route. If I type show IP route connected, I should see 3 connected routes. That's right. So if I go to router 1, there should be 1 OSPF neighbor, show IP OSPF neighbor. If I look at the show IP route, I will show you the from routing table wise 777, 27, 27, 27, 222. So that means there are 3 OSPF routes on R1. Let's check that one. Show IP route OSPF. So 3 OSPF routes. That's right. And there are 2 connector routes. That's also right. So as a verification, let's ping 2.2.2.2. This is R2 loopback 0. Source loopback 0. So that means I want to ping R2 loopback 0. From my loopback 0 is this pinging. If I go back to router 2, I'll do the same thing now. Ping 1.1.1.1 source loopback 0. So that means we successfully completed the lab, guys. So I have the connectivity from R1 to R1 to R2 and R2 to R1 through switch 1. Switch 1, as I said, it is running routing by using IP routing command, and also it has 1 SVI port, a switch virtual interface port, and 1 fast Ethernet port. So I can show you the command. I type show run interface FA00, FA01. This is the routed port. FA02, this is the, and also show run interface VLAN 27. So routed port has, SVI port has a concept of assigning port to a layer 2 VLAN and IP given to a layer 3 port. And if you want to see the OSPF commands, show run begin router OSPF. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this particular routing lab. The only way to get the routing lab under your control is do the lab multiple times again and again. And this is the diagram. Print the diagram or draw the diagram and do the lab multiple times until you are comfortable with entire content. Good luck for your CCNP switch labs and switch course from your master expert Juniper Cisco Instructor MANI. If you like my video, subscribe to my channel and tell your friends to subscribe too. You can find me in YouTube or Google by searching MANI Advantage. Good luck, guys. Talk later. Thanks for watching my video.